Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. Man, there are some servers not getting along, a lot of them, because I've got a lot of questions from a lot of different people, unless maybe they're all on the same server. But it's small alliances and it's power alliances, and it's like, what can we do in this civil war? This team is driving us crazy. It's all servers I never heard of, teams I've never heard of, really. So it's a lot of different stuff, and it's not really new servers. It's like servers that have been around for a year and a half or more. So I'm going to discuss no favorites here. I'm not on the big guys team or the little guys team. I'm just going to tell you different strategies that different sized players could do. So number one is, if we're going to start with small, okay, because it'll lead into what the big can do to counter it and how it goes. But first, I'd like to say, just get peace, man. Just agree. Just say, if you're the big alliance, you know what? It's okay if we have a little bit smaller piece of the pie. We get 32,000 Ymers instead of 40,000. It's better than going with like 10,000 or 20,000 for 3-4 months because you just can't get along. And then you might get some, maybe some people help you out in SVS or join you for shalons, that sort of stuff. And it's just easier when the game is playing out like that. So, number one, if you are these small players, you're scared to drop bubble, you don't want to do that sort of stuff. So, obviously, the obvious things you can do are you can tile attack, or you could solo monsters. Tile attack requires losing bubble. So that's not an ideal thing for a smaller player because you can get trapped, you can get tricked. They can put large troops on the tile and you don't got time to scout. And if you can't ghost, you're going to get hit. You're going to hit and then get hit. So what you can do, instead of tile attacking, if you see someone coming to this tile, and you don't want them to get it, you just want to annoy them and pester them, because that's really what the small alliance's job is in a civil war. You don't have to win the battles. You don't got to do anything. All you got to do is not care about growth, and that's what's on your side. We don't care about growth as the small players, and you do, so we're going to restrict resources from you. So if you see someone going there and you don't want them to do it, boom, occupy. Let's just send 500 troops with no general, and it'll sit there for, a minute, 2 minutes, and make him bounce off and go home and waste his time. And then they have to use speeds next time to get there before you, or just give up. And it really, really annoys people. Learned that from our friend Virus on server 68. He was a professional at the one-man civil war. Another thing you can do, anytime they leave their hive, you can go in their spot. Just put an alt. Just make them banish. Make them spend gems. It's silly, small, but it's one of those annoying things. Eventually, they'll get tired of using gems, and they'll just sit on the outside like I am right now, and then they got to do that. And what you can do when they're outside the hive, if you have your own alliance, so like let's say you were really committed to this civil war, and you created small alliances with your family members or yourself, you could plant a flag. So like go to build an alliance hive or a flag if it's a small alliance. And once it's done, you can banish people. We'll get into the counter with that with bigs in a minute. I actually made a video on it a while ago because we had that issue in our own civil war. So now also what you could do as small players, you could just position yourself like around the hive, like pretending my hive is a dictator, and we're not. We're actually very peaceful now. We've the merge has solved everything so far, and people get along. It's brought in new voices to help. So anyways, you could just surround and be like, yeah, we're just going to take every boss in your area, right? Rather than teleporting, you just do it all day. Obviously, you can use all sorts of the monster finders, that sort of stuff. I think everybody has it nowadays, knows what it is. You could also just use this one here, right? The one built in game. That'll help you find monsters. Obviously, really annoying stuff. People want growth, and people don't want it taken away from them, so they will generally get upset at monsters. That's really what event kind of causes every civil war, is usually monsters. Small people might be like, no, it's because they won't give us throne, man. But the big alliance is like, yeah, it's because you're taking our monsters. That's why we're not going to get along with you. So other than that, basically taking monsters and annoying them and pestering them. And that's just the little guy's job. Just pester them and restrict growth for months. You could also burn their hive when they go to battlefield, because you can't do it otherwise. Now, Big Alliance, what do you do? First, let's start off with the counter to the banishment. So if the small alliance is planting flags and hives, obviously first thing you're going to do, burn them down before they build. Second thing you're going to do, you could just build your own flags and hives around your hive. I have a video on that, and it'll protect it because your flags will be there, your hives will be there, and they can't put their own if yours is there. So that'll protect yours. Now, the next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to stop caring about growth, or else you're always going to lose the Civil War. You're always going to have to find peace because you care about growth. So what you can do is, obviously, you could focus on soloing the really big monsters that the little guys can't do, and then rally the big ones they can't do, and then solo the little ones so they can't get any. One thing that the small people can do as well, if they can't beat the large monsters, they could just kind of teleport beside them, and it might trick the Big Alliance into thinking like, oh man, they're there again, and they gotta waste speeds. But back to the Big Alliance, what they can do. Obviously, all your regular stuff, burn hives, but no one really cares about hives anymore. Like once you do it once and the food's gone, it doesn't have its effect anymore. So you could attack them. You could set up traps. You could put full marches on tiles. You can obviously, pretend to drop bubble and reinforce or port swap, all your classic stuff that you would do in Battlefield, but bring it onto your own server. You can also try for defections, right? You could try and recruit players and be like, hey man, like you guys aren't growing anymore. You aren't doing anything. Wouldn't you rather just join us, get some rallies? That's kind of the key, right? You just have to get one player and then you could get them all. Once you get one guy to come over, it gets easier for everyone else to want to join them. Plus, if you get the right person, they might bring everybody. So other than that, that's really about it. Evony not allowing us to create new accounts on server has limited a lot of stuff you can do in a Civil War, especially like the anonymous cruel talk on World Chat, right? Like the toilet's actually a lot nicer now. When you go over to World Chat on almost any server, it's really not bad anymore. And some of it's because the anonymity's gone. So there was rumors that that's why Evony did this and restricted alts. I don't believe it. I think it's to fight resource sellers. I think everything with them is always about that. But it has made World Chat better, kind of like if you go to the YouTube comment section, it's if you like that sort of stuff, it can be quite entertaining to just look at. So he was going away from the tile, he just finished. I thought he was going to it and I was going to show you. I was not going to bounce him off, but I was going to show you exactly what you could do. And now if we look here, this is a flag. That's what I was talking about. So this is what you would plant around the hive and banish people when it finished. But they burn in less than 5 minutes. So it's very easy to burn them down. But it is annoying to do all day long. And then, of course, one other thing that the Small Alliance can do is, of course, throw SVS, right? Lose SVS on purpose and go and give up points. But I got news for you. Not too many big alliances care about SVS anymore. So if you're a small player who's like, I'm going to ruin SVS, you're not going to bother them that much. You're really just going to hurt yourself and ruin your resources. So I would come up with other ways. But either way, if you want to win a Civil War, the key is don't care about growth and you got to dig in. Just like we're going to try and dig in for this coin strike, see how long it lasts. And nothing's going to be successful if you do it in the short term, right? You got to be prepared to last a long time. Let me know in the comments section what your plans would be, what your advice would be for people who are in a Civil War, and subscribe, leave a comment.